And I sent you guys the trailer, right? The 6-minute trailer where Hitchcock gives you a tour of the house. So what's interesting about that is Hitchcock shows you around the set, and he keeps talking about how, okay, this is where the woman was seen, and here is where the first murder happened. It's a 6-minute long teaser where he just keeps essentially explaining the plot, but he just leaves out very surgical details. It's just expert trolling, especially for 1960, where he's playing with the audience in these very fun ways.
I'm thinking, would it have attracted me, or would it have wanted, like, after seeing the trailer, imagine if I was in the 1960s, would I have wanted to go and see the film?
So here's the thing, I think why I like it is, I've kind of been on record that I think trailers are terrible, have been for the last 10 years, because they either tell way too much or way too little, and they don't know how to make the plot interesting. Like, or they don't know how to kind of invoke a sense of curiosity where you want to say, okay, this premise sounds really cool. I want to see how, like, where the movie goes. It's almost never the case. We usually see way too much. We see all the highlights, or we see nothing at all. We have no idea what the movie's about and who it's for. And here he's outright telling you, yeah, this is a murder mystery and somebody gets killed. And if you want to find out who it is, you're going to have to watch my movie. It's a kind of a fresh take where he outright tells you what kind of movie this is and kind of shows you a lot. You know, you think you know what's going on, and then you actually see it, and it's actually quite different. Actually, more trailers should be like this. It's this kind of movie, and this is the idea, and this is what you can expect, but without actually telling you the important parts. If you watch the 6-minute trailer, you are not actually spoiled. Not really, right? You don't know anything about Norman. You don't know anything about Mother. You don't know who gets killed or why or how. Even though you see all the locations and he tells you a whole bunch of stuff, you're not actually spoiled. And I think that is kind of interesting that people are so careful and so afraid of spoiling something that people don't really have a clear dividing line of what is a spoiler and what isn't. In my view, is kind of the premise can't be a spoiler. And kind of here's Hitchcock backing me up on this. It's kind of refreshing, right? Here Hitchcock has a very clear idea of what is and isn't a spoiler for this movie and what you can know without it ruining your experience of the movie. And he's very precise about what he doesn't tell you. I think it's kind of cool.
You know what's a bit mad? Because it does kind of reveal who dies, though. And we didn't clock on. When he pulled back the shower curtains, wasn't that the same girl in the film? Or was that someone different?
Okay, yeah, we see Marion scream in the shower. Yeah, okay.
That should have been a hint in a way, but it's crazy that I didn't even realize. Like, yeah, it's crazy that I didn't realize. I think most people didn't realize that. Oh, okay, he did kind of tell us who dies, but because I'm sure most people, if they saw that trailer, they wouldn't have been able to see that. Oh, okay, that's the woman that dies. So that's actually it's effective. It's effective.
I think it's really interesting, and it's funny that he kind of anticipates all my complaints I have 60 years later about spoiler culture. I just felt really vindicated watching this. I just want to show it to everybody who talks about don't spoil a 60-year-old movie. It's like, here's what Hitchcock had to say. Are you gonna argue with Alfred Hitchcock about suspense and ruining a movie?
And I do hear where you're coming from as well, because a lot of trailers they're just not great when it comes to kind of like selling the story. They don't even include the story. They just include pretty much the generic stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's just you see generic stuff in films, whereas I think they should find a way, for me personally, to not spoil it, but still reveal what the premise is about. And I don't think that's spoiling it. So if you say, for example, like someone has died, then some people, especially in our generation, they will see that as a spoiler. However, for me, that's not really a spoiler. I think that is the selling point. So
the how and what and why are kind of important.